Hello, everyone. This is High Priestess Tana, and I'm back again. So, I was going to wait until tomorrow to do this, but have you ever heard of Nain Rouge before? It's supposed to be, it actually translates to Red Dwarf in French, Nain Rouge. Some people argue that this particular entity is literally behind Detroit and some of the misfortunes that have happened in the city regarding like certain events and riots and stuff like that. But I don't know how true that is. But we're going to see if it's some truth to any of this. But some people said that the name Rouge or Red Dwarf actually supposedly had put a curse on Detroit. I don't know if you had ever heard of this particular imp or whatever, but we shall see. Right? So I wanted to tap into the legend of this name Rouge particular character. So they said that it derived from the early days of Detroit when Detroit was first founded in 1701, around that time. And they said that it had ties to uh, Antoine uh, de la Motte de Cadillac. So he was supposedly the founder of Detroit, obviously, if you look back in the history books or however you want to put it. So from what I'm reading here is that while attending a party in Quebec, a fortune teller warned Cadillac of a future encounter with Nain on his next adventure. And she stated that Cadillac needed to appease the monster with flattery, and his reward would be discovering a city that will rival ones in France. As I mentioned in one of my previous videos, I know that I talk a lot, but I did obviously mention that Detroit is viewed as being like the Paris of the Midwest. Like you have New Orleans, Louisiana is viewed like the Paris of the South pretty much. But in the Midwest, people look at Detroit or Detroit as being the Paris of the Midwest. I thought that was pretty dope. Like I've seen that online. One time I was looking at some pictures of like the skyline or the aerial view of Detroit. I was trying to find some really nice pictures from an aerial view, and I thought that was pretty interesting. So, yeah. So, if he disrespected the imp or the dwarf name Rouge, pretty much misfortune would darken his life. That's what the fortune teller lady told Cadillac. And as Cadillac sailed out on his mission the next day and eventually established Fort Pontchartrain du Detroit, or Fort Pontchartrain, Detroit, you know, parentheses, Detroit, on the western bank of the Detroit River. The fort prospered for years until one night somebody spotted the name Rouge, and I guess all hell broke loose. It's giving like leprechaun vibes or something, slash like a little demon or something. This is wild, y'all. And I kept saying before, when I did my videos on slavery in Detroit, I said, what the fuck? Like, I was thinking to myself, like, what if Detroit really was cursed on some real shit? And I was just thinking of like all the misfortune and the fights and the riots. And I was thinking of all this stuff, racism, all this stuff. And I said, wow. And till this day, we have a lot of crime in the city of Detroit that's pretty high. And I'm just, I'm not saying this is like factual or actual, that it could be linked to some type of demonic activity per se, but do I believe so? Do I believe that some pacts were made before the city was fully established? Hell yeah. I believe that some type of spiritual activities and some type of deals or so allegedly could have been made. You know what I mean? Every city has a story, and a lot of people took a Faustian bargain to get ahead or to make their dreams come true. I believe it could be some truth to it. Yes, am I saying this is actual factual 100%? Not necessarily. saying that, but from my spiritual lens, I feel like this is very possible that this could have happened, and it's not just folklore or legend, right? Because I do feel something like it just, And then they said when Cadillac ran into the Scarlet Imp, instead of paying him respect, he smacked the monster with his cane and told him to leave the city. Oh boy. The name Rouge, Rouge's cackling laughter pierced the air as the demon slipped away into the inky darkness. Uh-oh. And doom shrouded the arrogant Cadillac. His superiors removed the founder from his illustrious post and shipped him to Louisiana. I was just talking about Louisiana, which he considered a wretched place to live with his family. Okay. Over the decades, the name Rouge has been spotted at catastrophes faced by Detroit, including the 1805 fire. Oh boy, didn't I say about those riots too? The 1960s riots and the blizzard of 1976. This has led to a supposedly 300-year annual tradition on the Sunday after vernal equinox, where Detroiters gather for a march to meet the name Rouge. Whoa. That's interesting. I'm just looking at this stuff like, wow, wow. Yep, that makes a lot of sense. Look, I don't know if I just mentioned this, but in 1763, people were also reporting, uh, it was reportedly seen before the Battle of Bloody Run, a deadly ambush during Pontiac's rebellion. Whoa. Yeah, not good. Okay, I don't know how true this is, but obviously it's considered like a mischievous imp or some type of dwarf demon thing or goblin, and it usually appears before it strikes I'm sorry, before any disaster or misfortune strikes Detroit. um it's like a harbinger or an omen pretty much, and people say that it's just known for appearing allegedly before tragic events that happen in the city, like major events and stuff. But this is the thing, y'all. They said that it's small, it's impish, it has big red or black fur, and it has glowing red eyes and rotten teeth and sometimes cloven hooves, like I guess like a goat or something. Y'all, I can't even deal with it. Okay, and I'm a high priestess slash spiritualist advisor, reader, however you want to put it, and I ain't even got time, y'all. I don't play with them demons. Okay, I no way, Jose. I'm like, no, baby, not for me. But I mean, of course, I'm gonna stay protected at all times, but